Gardens. Away we go to the famous zoo with Bertie and Nellie and Dick and Sue, and we feel quite ready to jump for glee when the wonderful birds and beasts we see, the pelican solemn with monster beak, and the plump little penguin round and sleek, have set us laughing, ha ha ho ho, and you laugh too if you look below. To the monkey house, then we make our way, where the monkeys chatter and climb and play. At the snakes we peep, then onward stroll, to talk to the parrots and scratch a pole. And after all that, there will still be time on the patient elephant's back to climb. The bear and the buns. Don't forget at the zoo to take a good view of the funny old bear who climbs out of his lair. Up a pole, look he's here, with his figure so queer, and his thick clumsy paws and his bun-seeking jaws. On the end of a stick place a bun, now quick, Master Bertie, and snap, what an awful red trap. The bun's out of sight, but one more will delight Father Bruin up there, for his appetite's rare, and he never says no to a dozen or so. The Milk Woman. Milk, oh, each morn she cries, and little sleepers ope their eyes, and wonder if pure milk is sold by Betty here, for they've been told that London milk, how people talk, is only water mixed with chalk. The Muffin Man. You've heard about the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man. You've heard about the Muffin Man who lives in Drury Lane? Well, here you see that Muffin Man, that celebrated Muffin Man, and if you try his muffins, you'll be sure to buy again. The Shoeblack Brigade. If you wanted a boy to polish your shoes, which of these two do you think you would choose? There were once street Arabs, hungry, ill-clad, and in very sore danger of going to the bad. But now one might think that their fortunes were made. They're so proud to belong to the Shoeblack Brigade. The Bluecoat Boys. If you should pass through Newgate Street, bare-headed boys with coats of blue, among the crowd you're sure to meet, and all with yellow stockings too. Their coats are long as well as blue, and when at football they do play, they find them rather heavy too, so tuck them up out of the way. In Christchurch Passage will be found the entrance to the school, and though it looks so quiet all around, we hear the crowd go to and fro. Above the doorway there you see the Boy King's statue, would you know? Who founded this great school, 'twas he, more than 300 years ago. Gog and Magog. In the famous Guildhall, mayor and aldermen all meet to banquet and feast, and it's whispered that they aren't inclined in the least from the table to stray, for they're fond of good cheer, and they meet with it here, where the wine is so fine and still better than that, where the turtle's rich fat tempts the guests when they dine. Turtle soup's very good, and a favorite food with the banqueters all who frequent the Guildhall. Two giants so tall guard the famous Guildhall. Gog is one, and the other is Magog, his brother. Well, these giants so tall watch the feast, but can't call for a crumb, as they're dumb and not living at all. Else 'twould seem scarcely fair that when good things were by, Gog and Magog should stare from their pedestals high. For if placed at a table, at least they'd look able to dine there and then, like two live aldermen. The Cat's Meat Man. He calls meat meat all down the street, and dogs bow wow and cats meow, while kittens sly come purring by, as if to say, "Do serve us, pray, the first of all, for we're so small." The man throws bits of meat to kits and cats and dogs, then on he jogs, and down the street still cries, "Meat, meat." The Night Watch. Policeman A, Policeman B, likewise Policeman C and D, all in a row, sedate and slow, away to their beats, tramp, tramp, they go. Now the first is beloved by Ann the cook, and his manly face has a bashful look, as he thinks with a sigh of the beer and the pie he has had from those area steps close by. And here are three housemaids, trim and slim. Mr. B knows Betty is fond of him, but Policeman C loves Cicely, and Dolly's engaged to Policeman D. Chapel of the Foundling Hospital. In Guildford Street, great London town, is a nursery bigger than ever has been. When each child grows up and leaves its walls, another new baby that day is seen. In the foundling cots each little babe has no baby sister or baby brother, and never shall know the anxious care and tender touch of a loving mother. But our Father, who gives their daily bread to all of his creatures, calls kindly men to build this home for famishing babes from many a poverty-stricken den. And here they are fed and clothed and taught, and lift their voices in prayer and praise. And here every Sunday the people flock to hear the anthem the foundlings raise. After chapel, see them all assembled in the dining hall. The bugle sounds, their graces sung, then fork and spoon and lip and tongue, clatter, chatter, such a noise, oh, such happy girls and boys. The Flower Woman. Flowers sweet and fair, sir, flowers that any princess might wear, sir, a bunch for a penny. Many a bunch must the flower woman sell to buy food for herself and her children as well. Cleopatra's Needle. Upon the broad embankment you'll find a curious sight, for the children play around it from morning until night, and crowds of grown-up people come here to see it too. 'Tis Cleopatra's Needle folks gather thus to view. In mother's pretty workbox there's so much needle shown, this needle brought from Egypt is nothing but a stone. How silently it watches, old Thames go gliding by. You're very old, the river says, but not so old as I. Think you it longs for Egypt, this wondrous solemn stone, that stands and gazes at us, each day so sad and lone? Ah, yes, when London's sleeping, if monuments can dream, it longs for Egypt's palm trees and Nile's slow murmuring stream. The Chestnut Woman. All hot, come buy. 10 a penny is the price, and if you my chestnuts try, you'll declare they're very nice. See how brightly burns my fire. Hear the chestnuts hiss and crack. Better nuts you can't desire than these beauties big and black. All hot, if you are cold, have a penny worth of heat. Something nice and warm to hold, something nice and warm to eat. Munch your chestnuts up and then, if your toes want warming too, say I'll have another then, just to warm me through and through. So the cheerful chestnut dame to each chilly passer calls, as she roasts above the flame fine round nuts like flowery balls. Hungry children soon draw near, if a penny they have got, and with warm and food and cheer, they become all hot, all hot. The 5th of November. The 5th of November, they bid you remember these bright little boys with the funny old guy. In his chair up and down, he'll be borne through the town, then burned in the bonfire he'll be by and by. All those who remember the 5th of November, some money will give to the boys with a guy. If all give a penny, I wonder how many wheels, crackers, and squibs they'd be able to buy. In the children's hospital, little sick Tommy, what trouble he's had, medicine and blisters, his cough was so bad. Now he is better, he soon will be well, and go back to mother with stories to tell. Of softly reclining on pillows of down, of Mary his nurse in a pretty blue gown, of the doctor so gentle to the other sick boys, and oh, a whole shop full of beautiful toys. The happy family. Here's my happy family, little folks, as you may see. Cats who fight, but just in fun, mice who up the Flagstaff run, parakeet, canaries too. Now, my dears, twixt me and you, girls and boys who scold and tease, might a lesson learn from these. Birds and beasts who all agree in my happy family. The crossing sweeper. He is weak and old, and he feels the cold, but a nice clean path he keeps, for passengers all, both great and small, as the mud to each side he sweeps. The people stare in London town at his turban rare and his face so brown, but the poor old Hindu does not mind, so long as a coin for him they find. And he nods and smiles as he sweeps away, as if to the passer-by he'd say, think of your shining boots and shoes, and a copper to me you can't refuse. For each penny I get, I sweep the faster. Ah, thank you, kind young master. Punch and Judy. Have you a penny? Well then stay. Haven't you any? Don't go away. Punch holds receptions all through the day, squeaking aloud to gather a crowd, scolding at Toby, beating his wife, frightening the constable out of his life, and making jokes in a terrible passion, as is Mr. Punch's peculiar fashion, for this is his old delightful plan of getting as many pence as he can. Then away he'll jog, with his wife and his dog, new folks to meet in the very next street. The Lowther Arcade. Tell me, rosy little boy, listen, little maiden too, do you love a fine new toy? Yes, you say, of course you do. Then your thought to mother tell, and she'll take her little maid and her little boy as well to this wonderful arcade. Active apes that climb up sticks, swords and guns and trumpets bright, wooden horses, wooden bricks, big fat lambs with fleeces white, dolls that smile and dolls that cry, soldiers ready for parade, all are here for you to buy in this wonderful arcade. Toys are hanging up on strings, toys are laid in tempting rows, and each shop with pretty things is so crammed it overflows. Little girls and little boys, oft are puzzled, we're afraid, wish to choose of all these toys in this wonderful arcade. The dustman is coming. Off to bed the pets must flock. Look, it's nearly 8 o'clock. Baby's sleepy, so is Claire. Ah, says mother on the stair. To little folks that yawn and blink, the dustman's coming, I should think. Mother's right, for sure enough, here's the dustman, strong and bluff. Dust ho, hear his cry, as the dust cart rumbles by. The dustman home is going soon, for there you see the rising moon, and sleepy Claire, in cot so white, thinks that his cry must mean good night. Goodbye.